Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Today I wanted to sort of take a little bit of a trip down memory lane and take a look at some of the old pieces that I've made a long time ago. And so I found this folder recently which contains a lot of the artworks that I made over the years, and I think the oldest one is from 2017 here, and I realized that I haven't really shared any of this before, so maybe some of these, I think some of these have been in videos, but a lot of this has not been seen before. And this is something about looking back at the sort of stuff that you made over the years, and I don't know, it just sort of made me think about the kinds of art that I used to make versus what I make currently, because I feel like I've been a little bit stuck in the sort of art style that I've been making recently with the fractal brushes, with the sort of very vibrant abstract kind of stuff. And so when I found this folder, I was like, okay, wow, I've been exploring a lot of different styles, and I think it's kind of interesting. So I want to start with just showing you a little bit around my studio here, and let's start there. So I'm gonna click over to this thing right here. And so this is the wall in my studio, and there's a couple of pieces there, and that's currently where I'm streaming from. And yeah, let's just start with this one right here. Now, you might think this is the Mona Lisa, but this is actually my wife. So we have the background behind my house right there, and we composited this image. So yeah, that's where the photo was actually taken. It's kind of dark, so it's very, very early hours now here in Iceland. And so it was taken right there. So that's the background right over there. There's a really nice lake over there. And so that was the background behind it. And we sort of put everything up, and she sat in the same position as Mona Lisa. And then I took the photo, cropped her out, and then put the background behind her in Photoshop. Then I did a style transfer of the actual Mona Lisa using a very early form of AI. And then I applied that on top of it and did a whole lot of tweaking. This one is a sort of blend of, I think, Picasso styling along with just whatever came to mind. There was like a vortex there, vortices, a whole bunch of sort of hidden textures there which form characters and story. There's a storyline happening in this artwork. Although it might seem abstract, it is abstract, but it's also very much not. It's every single line is deliberate. There are thousands of little tweaks and little just details that, I don't know, they tell a story at the time. I probably can't recall the entire story right now because it's been such a long time. I think it was 2017. This one is more recent. This is the fractal brush pack, combining a couple of different brushes that I make and sell on the store. I think this is magnetic, the brush from the fractal brush pack. We can also see that there, that's the background behind the iPad. And yeah, this one was I think it's like an IKEA platter that I bought and poured some paint on it. And yeah, just wanted to see, like, could you make like a nice gift or something? And I was gonna make a video about this, but yeah, that got lost somewhere. Yeah, so this one right there. Oh, yeah, this one. This is actually just a fractal. I think this is like humongous, like 16K fractal. I printed it on way too small, but yeah, this one was actually made during a float tank experience. So I went to a float tank, a sensory isolation tank, and during the sensory isolation, like an hour into it, just no sensory input at all, completely dark. This pattern flashed before me. It came and went, and it was really interesting. And I think this also tells a story. This one was from a thing we did with my, what's it called? Niece? Yeah. We went to this farm in Iceland. We stood on this bridge and took this photo, and I think I made a video about this. These are the mountains behind us. The sky didn't actually look like this, but we really wanted to recreate the scream. And so, let's see, it was really just an amazing experience, this little farm. Anyway, so let's get back to the iPad right here. And I wanted to sort of explore some of these earlier artworks, because a lot of these, they haven't really been, I haven't really opened them up in years, and there's a lot of different techniques that applied for a lot of them. And so I'm just gonna start with a random one. We can start with maybe this one right here, which is the one that I have on the wall. I don't think this is the final version, but we take a look at the time-lapse replay and just, okay, so I started this one a little bit later, but you can see like there was a period where this was something completely different, and we can scroll through it, just see there's just so many tiny details that I made, and I think it's honestly, like personally, I think it's a little bit strange in some way to put this much detail in an abstract painting, because abstract should be abstract, but there's something about abstract painting that it doesn't feel complete, it doesn't feel finished until it's finished. And so let me know in the comments, in the chat, if you can hear me okay, and if there's any glitches or anything. I'll really appreciate that. But yeah, there's just something about the actual artwork itself that once you're actually making it, it's done when it's done. And I think that's the same with a lot of these. So that was the one that I have on the wall. But you can also take a look at a few of the other ones here. So let's take a look at I think this is like the first abstract that I was happy with, that I made in Procreate. And this one has a completely different story. We can go into that, like starting off just with some random shapes, right? Just a bunch of random shapes. You can see that I put it like a color palette right here that I want to go from, and it just goes like, what's happening right here? Using the perspective blur and just trying to create some movement, trying to create some colors, some texture, and not sure what I'm thinking about with these ones. Maybe like borrowing some bokeh effect from camera sensors or something. Oh, thanks, grumpy old dude. Thanks for letting me know the audio sounds good. Awesome. So here we start to see like the beginning of the actual artwork. So this is, when you look at the final piece, you'll start seeing that it resembles this. So just notice, like, we go from all of this. It just looks messy, looks chaotic. Not really sure what I was thinking. I probably wasn't even thinking, just listening to some music and doing something. And then deciding, like, no, let's take this somewhere different. And, like, take a look at how many of these different strokes I made. Like, this thing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are all different strokes. Like, I'm not done. I keep like, no, it shouldn't be like this, shouldn't be like that, shouldn't be like this. No, it's not like that, not like that. Yeah, that's it. For some reason, that's it. That's where I found the sweet spot of green going across the screen. I wonder, like, if I was using golden ratio for this. So these are the golden ratio calipers. I think you can get these at like Amazon.com or something like that. And they always show the golden ratio. So regardless of how wide you make them, this is also always the golden ratio point. So you can sort of position and find if things are aligned to the golden ratio. And apparently, no. So I wasn't actually going for the golden ratio. So this was just, this felt right. Apparently, maybe actually this might be the golden ratio, the white one here. Yeah, looks a little bit closer. Sorry. No? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that kind of looks right. Anyway, so yeah, started to put some shapes down here. Yeah, at this point I think I was trying to go for like an ethereal landscape or something like that, and getting some star in here, some textures. I think this is the default water texture brush in Procreate. And yeah, starting to lay down some more stuff. That was an experimentation, trying out a sort of circular pattern, and yeah, making something come from this point right here. Eventually I got rid of it, and it ended up, like, you can see the signature right here has appeared. So I'm getting kind of happy about this. Some people worshipping something. I don't know what this was. I think this was from another one. I want to have like a big presence overlooking this thing, but yeah, didn't like that. And so yeah, that's how it ended up looking like. Now, I can't really tell you why this was the final point. I think this looks decent. There's something about it, like it looks eerily natural, like it could be a landscape somewhere on a faraway planet, but it's also just yeah, I mean, there's small textures in the thing right here. Anyway, I thought this was kind of interesting. One of the first artworks I think that I was actually happy with. This is actually the first. I literally called it fyrsta listaverk sem ég bjó til eða eitthvað líka, something like that. And this is like the first artwork that I was happy with, that I made in Procreate. So yeah, okay. I don't think there's, oh, there's time-lapse replay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so starting off with just basic shapes, laying down some. I bet this is the golden ratio, because I was really into the golden ratio at this point. Yeah. So you see, like, where it's located, where it comes down from the screen, and then probably also where it lands on the other side. It's probably also the golden ratio inspired. Yeah, and so it goes from the right golden ratio to the left golden ratio, and then I just wanted to, I think, fill in the rest with some color, with some other stuff, and it's just really, like, I think this was like the first time that I was exploring using different layers for stuff, and having the different elements happening on different layers, experimenting with all the different brushes in Procreate. I think these are all the standard Procreate brushes. Trying some different. Oh yeah, I'm putting like shadows beneath it, and yeah, it looks like it's exploding from it a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening in these last parts. Just finalizing stuff, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that's how this one got made. I think it's way too vibrant, this. I'm not sure how it comes across on the live stream, but I think the color saturation is a little bit off here, and I'll probably use a different texture than like a default wood texture here, but interesting, definitely interesting. I can kind of see what I was going for with this one, but yeah, we can move on. Let me know if anything here stands out to you and you want me to take a look at any of this. I think this one was made at a party. This was somebody who held out their hand, and they had like they just had some popcorn in their hand, and I think yeah. Okay, so I let them have the iPad, and yeah, they drew all of this, and then at some point just exploring some brushes. So this wasn't actually, all of this wasn't me, and then I think they passed the iPad over to me, and I think we together we yeah, held out their hand. Anyways, I don't think this one is particularly interesting, but yeah, we're just holding some popcorn, and we put some stuff down. Anyways, this one, I think I was kind of interested. I really want to finish this one, but it's one of those artworks where it took me such a long time to get like the angles and proportions right, where it felt right, that I didn't really know what to do with it. Like there's so many rooms for just absolutely destroying it. Obviously I could make backups of it, but I didn't feel comfortable in my artistic experience, or yeah, my abilities to use color at this point, because I was like, for the vast amount of my like career, not that I'm like a professional artist, I'm more of a designer in my career, but for the vast amount of time I didn't really use color. I was just like drawing like a tattoo, like black and white tattoos and stuff like that. And so this was the sort of first time that I was exploring, I think, using color and yeah, let's see. So it started off with this little character floating in space with all of these sort of geometric shapes happening in the background, probably something like representing his mind or something. I can imagine. Yeah, this is like going into his spinal cord there. And as we can see, yeah, wow, exploring a lot of different colors, starting off trying to like get some resemblance of color matching myself, but eventually realizing that I know nothing about color. And this was the time where the color harmony tool in Procreate didn't exist. We just had the traditional color wheel, and so getting colors to match was just like a mystery to me. I had no idea how one color was, relatable to another, or how they connected in any sense of the imagination. So all of this was just experimentation, until we see there I got like a color palette app, I think, and I found something that looked a little bit okay, screenshotted that, and I think I used that to sort of get the basic colors down here, and you see now the colors start to match a little bit, but I wasn't really happy with them. So again, seems like I screenshotted a different tool or website, ColorMind. I have no idea. I haven't seen this in years. Pokemon Crystal. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, getting a new color palette, a little bit darker with some red to accent it. Eventually turns into yellow, and this is where I got it to. So I should probably finish this at some point, but yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. You can use like characters and abstract patterns and combine them into something that looks. I think this looks a little bit interesting. It's not finished, but it's something. Yeah, let me know if you want to see anything specific here, and we can take a look at that. But I'm thinking about. Let's see. There's a lot of them, man. Oh, this one. Yeah, I miss it. This was. Okay, so this is the final one. This is actually a very sad story in Iceland. There was a girl that went missing. Sorry. So there's this girl that went missing, and cameras, they saw her like leave from a bar in downtown Iceland and get into a car, and she wasn't seen after that. And I'm not joking that, like, I think everyone in Iceland went looking for her. It was just this massive thing. It was during COVID, and everybody was in a lockdown, and it was just terrible. And I really want to capture like the feeling of like what I was seeing in the news, what I was hearing from everybody talking about this, and it was just this. Yeah, I was just imagining what the mother would have been feeling at the time, and also it's like as a reflection, the society and the poor child. And so we see like so I think that this was the mother and this was the child. And let's take a look at the final one here. So eventually ended up looking like this. And so it's yeah. It was some artworks are easier to make than others. This one was really hard to make. Every time I opened it, it was just rough, yeah, because there's so much emotion, there's so much meaning behind it, and see like the tears, like the form like a waterfall, and I don't know. I'm not sure how much I can really explain this one, because it was just such a tragic event. They ended up finding the poor child, I think, in the sea. It was just terrible. Yeah, she did end up dying. Anyway, let's lighten the mood. Let's lighten the mood from that. So yeah, so that's art can go in any direction. It can be a form of meditation. It can be a form of like taking something that you feel inside, something deep, something difficult, trauma, or happiness, and just letting it out, and just seeing what comes out if you empty your mind and you don't put any expectations on yourself. Like you're not trying to create this for somebody else. Like I think this is the first time I've ever shown this to anybody. I wasn't planning to show this. I just saw it there. And so sometimes obviously it's it's a form of release, and sometimes it's just exploration, trying out different techniques. For example, like some of these, like there's no emotion necessarily behind it, but you can see like I'm experimenting with the light here, and the shapes, and yeah, it's just I bet I was using like the golden ratio right here, right? Yep. Golden ratio everywhere. So yeah, definitely a lot of history here. This one I think I made a video about on the channel. It's called the Laugavegur, which is, it was a representation of what it felt like to go downtown in Iceland at the time, and I just felt like an alien because I was in Iceland, and this sort of small little country where everybody knows everybody, and I didn't hear a word in Icelandic. I went into the stores and nobody spoke Icelandic, and I was just like, what country am I in? I felt kind of weird. This was like the first time that I sort of sensed that Iceland was becoming something much bigger than it used to be. And yeah, from this small town to a big city. Although there's not a lot of people in Iceland. I think we're about 300,000 in total Icelanders. So let's see. Oh, remember this video? Yeah, this was during a storm, I think. I did make a video about this, and it was kind of fun to make. So yeah, you see like there's some trees. There's I think this was a photo that I took. I put in the background there. So I think this is supposed to represent like the you can see like the Facebook logo here in the end. It's kind of jarring to look at the actual artwork come alive, because I didn't capture the beginning of it, but there's also just so much sort of experimentation with it. Some fog here, a little bit of accents in the background there. I'm not sure where I got this texture from. Oh, you can see definitely this is an image that I took somewhere, and I placed it in here to mask it out. And by the way, if like, I would love to see some of your earlier works. If you use Procreate or Photoshop or anything, and you have like a folder with a bunch of artworks, and you want to maybe show some of them, please, like, absolutely do so. We have a community site called at artanddesign.tv. If you go to /community, or just click on the community tab, you can post your artworks there. Just put an image of it, and maybe we can go through that in a future video, or just talk about it on the site, or even if you're working on something and you need some feedback. It's a great place to get feedback. It's probably the best and simplest way to reach me. So if you need that, anyways. So this is eventually how it turned out. You can see this little carrot right here is being controlled by social media. He's looking at his phone, and look at that thing here. Yeah, so he's like looking at his phone, being absolutely absorbed by Facebook, while at the same time, like, terrible things are happening in the world, and all these terrible things, like, it all depends on perspective. If you're looking at this thing, you think this is the terrible thing. The terrible thing is actually what's controlling this thing. So this is the terrible thing, and then you look at it even further, it goes even beyond that. And who knows how far back and how wide the chain is. But yeah, it was it's supposed to be like a representation of society or something. I don't know. This one is more of a play on perspective and testing out different methods of. I want to capture like 3D in some way, and somewhat successfully. I think there's parts that look pretty decent here, and then there are other parts which don't really match reality. But this was we can take a look at the replay here. Starting off in a completely different direction, sketching out some different stuff here. Looks like I started with the tail. Interesting. How's everybody doing? What time is it for you, by the way? It's like 7 a.m. for me right now, here in Iceland. Let me know in the comments or the chat, like where you're from, where you're located, what time is it for you? Are you joining? Is it very late and you're just chilling, or something else? I don't know. So yeah, looks like I started with the tail here, and looks like the shape of the thing came fairly early. Okay, and then came the background, and then I recolored this, and eventually added some different colors to complement it, and put the final touches, and a little bit of perspective blur. All right, cool. Yeah, not much to say, I think, more about this one. It was just, I don't know, I kind of like the sort of color balance here, the sort of different contrast between the dark and bright areas. Kind of vibrant, very green. Yeah. So let's see. If anything jumps out to you. Oh, Atlanta. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing. How is it in Atlanta right now? It's getting colder here in Iceland. It's getting quite chilly, quite freezing, honestly. This one, I think, is a combination. I think this is one of the sort of earlier fractal works that I did. And so what I used to do is I had this. Oh, cool, Ireland. Oh, nice. So you're quite close to me. Ireland, Iceland. Yeah. So these were some of the earlier work. Dark and 59 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in Fahrenheit? 59 degrees Fahrenheit. What would that be in Celsius? I have no idea. The Fahrenheit scale, it just completely baffles me. Yeah, so this one is made from a combination of just sort of random textures that I was drawing at the time. Oh, look at that. Guess what the TV show I was watching at the time. That's kind of interesting. That didn't last long because I think I completely changed this. I mean, just how many different tries did that take? How much time? I'd love to keep this one. It looks kind of interesting. But yeah, like all of these are different strokes, different shapes here. Just trying to get it to look right, and then eventually giving up on it and trying something completely different. So this is like a render from a fractal program that I used called Chaotica, and it allows you to create like really high definition fractals and So I rendered that out, and I think I was trying to do something with it. So I put it like this, and I think this is another fractal. Yes, 2 different fractals combined here. Thoughts on Procreate Dreams? I think Procreate Dreams is, yeah, really, really cool program. I covered in when it sort of first came out, and yes, it's really, really powerful. I think if you really put your time into it, you could replace the entire video editing process. You know, instead of using something like Premiere or Adobe After Effects in order to do like animations on the screen and transitions and stuff like that, you could just use Procreate Dreams to do pretty much everything. So if you wanted to make like YouTube videos or showcase your art or something like that, you could absolutely do that. Disappointed with the lack of tools like Lasso. Oh, that's interesting. I honestly, I haven't used Procreate Dreams in a while, so I'm not sure what. I thought they would sort of make it feature comparable to Procreate. I know you can like bring in, like you can draw the stuff in Procreate and bring it over to Procreate Dreams, but yeah, I'm interested that they don't have the lasso tool yet. Gotta send that as a feature request. Get some people behind it, and the more people ask for it, I think the more focus they put on it. I don't know. Software development is it's just, there's so many moving parts. Yeah. It's like a puzzle piece. You know, I'm also wondering, like, FYP animations. At what point do you think Procreate Dreams would be like complete, or like as good as it gets, a completely finished tool that you could use for everything? I'm curious to know. So this one, you can see like all the different layers here. This one I think is a similar story to a lot of the other ones, where it starts off with just putting down some color, putting down some shapes, and you can see like the beginning of the end right there, like a sort of V, sort of, and then trying out different things, putting some shapes, putting some stuff down, and then yeah, this one finalized quite quickly. So it went from this to this. How did it go from this to this in such a short amount of time? What? I have no idea how that happened. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, so for those who are just joining, we're going through my old artworks from like 2019 all the way, I think, down here from to 2017. Yeah, 2017, and just going through some of the different techniques that I was trying out, and exploring like how the art style has changed, how my art style has changed basically over time, where I was exploring a lot of different techniques here in the beginning, trying to see if I can I create this, can I create that, am I able to like put down what I have in my mind and actually create something that looks cool. And yeah, a lot of these are more like accidents, where it's just trying out something and then eventually something came out. This one, I'm like, what is happening there? I have no idea. Like, it starts off like this, like no resemblance to the final artwork, but definitely I copied some color palette here, and I'm trying out this color palette. Oh, there we go. that's where the final form takes place. So putting down some stuff, some patterns here, then okay, maybe some water between two things. Kind of looks like an airplane window or something, maybe. Oh, interesting. At some point there was a character in here and another character or something. Yeah, so this was like a cosmic conversation, and eventually the characters went away and it just became like a geyser with a million tries to get a texture that I ended up throwing away. I know they're working on update and hopefully add missing tools so we don't have to import from standard Procreate. Apps like Toon Squid already have these tools. I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, Procreate Dreams was, I think, a really cool sort of exercise in, not necessarily an exercise, but for lack of a better term, like it was an exercise in trying to see what an animation tool that used the Procreate design philosophy would look like. Like, how could you fit an animation tool designed from the ground up with a Procreate team? What would that actually look like? I think Procreate Dreams has I think Procreate in general, they have a really good design philosophy where instead of relying too much on they call it like you have too many cooks in the kitchen. So if you have like just while I'm talking, I'm going to show some of the more recent artwork. So this is the sort of stuff that I'm making nowadays. But if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, what tends to happen, by cooks I mean developers, product managers, chief executive staff who have high opinions. What tends to happen is that this is not mine. This is I think my daughter. That'd be cool though if suddenly I went from this to making stuff like that. Looks great though. You're holding a key. Yeah, but when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, what tends to happen is that all decisions get boiled down to mush, basically. So Procreate has a little bit of a different design philosophy in that the entire user interface in Procreate and all these interactions and all that stuff it goes through a central vision, the CEO of Procreate, James Kuda, who, like, I don't want to credit everything, all of the interactions to him necessarily directly, but I think because obviously like ideas come from all around, so there might be somebody in Procreate who figured out that like you can actually do this sort of stuff, and once you let go, it goes like this. Somebody had to program this. Somebody had to spend time on figuring out what the correct animation curve and how to take in the 2 points that we have holding on the screen right here, and once you let go, they have to figure out how to make it snap into place with the correct sort of animation, and when you let it go, it goes in the right place. There's just so much stuff going on here, and I think Procreate is sort of unique among a lot of the drawing apps in that they place so much detail and emphasis on this kind of stuff, like what makes the app feel natural to use. And natural, yes, I mean this is a digital application, I understand that, but the point being is that if you want to take this away, this is the way to do it. Instead of having to click on an X right here or something like that, they put a lot of emphasis on that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate that. I completely forgot what the point was with all of that. But yeah, so this is the sort of stuff that I'm making these days. I mean, we can take a look at some of the replay from something like this, and usually this starts with the fractal brushes laying down some shapes. I think the replay from the fractal brush is kind of jarring because there's so much change. But okay, yeah, this is nauseating. But there's so many different tries, so many different patterns and details that go into it that it's a little bit hard to capture that the amount of work that goes into something like this. And all this, like, this is just like a pattern. It's just a it's just a collection of different patterns. It's not like a landscape, it's not a portrait. I don't know, I'm not sure what the point was, but so not using the, what's it called, the face feature in Procreate, where you can overlay stuff on your face. A little bit of a gimmick, but I have used this in a few different artworks where I've painted something. Might be able to, let's take this one. So it's basically just this, right? And then you go, what was it? Canvas, reference. Then you get this thing, right? So you have it on the face setting, and you see like the IR blaster goes on full blast. And then once it detects a face, like me, you can see, you can start using this as the canvas to put a facial feature on it. So if we take away, let's see, put a black background, and we get this to show up full screen, like so. So, you know, you could paint something like if you actually wanted to capture an emotion or something with what you're creating. So you could make like facial features and take a snapshot of yourself with the specific emotion that you have in mind, and then use that, composite that into the artwork, and then use basically yourself as reference in however way you want. I think that's, I mean, there's so many creative ways you can use Procreate. Oh, there we go. That's what I was doing there. So use the fractal brushes to create like the basic, the shape right here, and then use the liquefying tool to spread that out. I don't know, I didn't really finish this one. It was more of a try to see what can be done with this. And yeah. So let me know if, like, I would love to see what kind of stuff you guys are making. If you want to share something on art and design /community, and if you post something there, let me know. We can maybe take a look at it on the stream or in a later video. But yeah, I've been trying a lot of different things here. You see, like, there's these clothes right here. So this was a video that I made to test, like, can you use Procreate to design clothes? Like, I'm obviously not the best clothes designer, but yeah, you can definitely do it. So basically you download the patterns from something like I think it's called Printful. Yeah, Printful. And then you can use that as the template, and you can, you know, design your own clothes basically like so. And then you paste all those patterns into Printful, and then you can get like a visual representation of what that looks like. Made a lot of different clothes. I don't think I've really shown those. Maybe we can go through that in a later stream. But yeah, these are fantastic for like birthday or Christmas presents or something like that. Fantastic to give, like, you can give clothes or cups or you know, pillows, blankets with your own art. Yeah, make great presents because it's your time that went into it, and so people really appreciate that. Oh yeah, this one. Cool. So this is the thumbnail for the 16K fractal brush. I just want to sort of highlight that here. Let's see. So it's this one right here. This is the thumbnail. Now you might notice that Procreate doesn't actually support thumbnails. I mean, they show up here, but there's no way to add a thumbnail. Like when you create a brush, it creates its own thumbnail, right? And so the only way to actually get a thumbnail to show up here is through a lot of trial and error of basically like hacking the original brush file. So if you make a brush, you'll have to spend a lot of time to sort of unpack the brush file and get to the sort of encoded patterns right here. And so what I did is I'm going to be adding this to the website artanddesign.tv in a little bit. The ability to basically put in your own brush pack and then create these thumbnails yourself. So I'm gonna, I plan to release that soon. I've already made it. I just need to find a way to host it. So once that's done, you can design your own thumbnails if you want to create brushes, and then have thumbnails for your brush packs. So a lot of you have been asking about if I want to make a video showing how to actually create brushes, and I was thinking about let me get one thing. Kind of dusty, but I have this thing right here. It is like a, what do you call it? Microscope? Yes. And what we can do is we can basically do something like this. Let me do one thing. I'm gonna open the app for this. I'm gonna just sort of give you a little bit of a glimpse into the process to create a brush. So let's see. I'm gonna switch over. Let's do a square. Not a 4K square, but we need a 2K square. I think I have that somewhere here. So we're looking for no man 2000 by 2000. So Procreate brushes are by default 2K in size. So this is like the maximum size for a Procreate brush if you want to create it in a standard way. The 8K and 16K fractal brushes, they were made in a different way, and that's another one of those you have to hack it in order to make it work. So basically, in order to create a brush, you have to have, first of all, some pattern happening on the screen. We can use something like this. If something, what? Why is nothing showing up? Okay, there we go. So yeah, basically, first of all, we need some pattern to show up, and then we gotta use that in order to make the brush. So first we need to capture the pattern, and my thinking was, if we take a look at the microscope and try to get a picture from that. One sec. I'm gonna get the app ready here. Okay, I gotta do something on the iPad right here. I'm gonna switch over to the video in the meantime to get that ready. So let's see, it was called see. Yeah, just doing some Bluetooth stuff here. Is it Wi-Fi? Hey, the one and only Sakti. Hey, the only Sakti. How's it going? Where are you coming from? I'm here in Iceland. I'm sorry. I'm in the Bluetooth settings, and there's a bunch of personal identifiable information showing on the screen right now. Don't want to expose all of that right now. So I'm connecting the microscope app, which I thought was a Bluetooth thing. Maybe it might be a Wi-Fi thing. Yeah, okay, sorry, it was a Wi-Fi device. It is connecting now, I think. Connecting. There we go. Okay, cool. Sweden. Oh, cool. A friend of mine lives in Sweden. How is Sweden these days? Okay, we can switch back to the iPad, if that works. Oh, sorry, the top-down camera stopped responding. Let's see if I can get it back. There we go. Ugh, come on. Sorry. Trying to get this to connect here. Okay, so it is connected now. And if we switch like so, and now we should have the thing show up. Sorry about that. This shouldn't happen. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry for that. So, basically, what we have going right now is, gotta make room for this here. Yeah, sorry, this was unplanned, but so I'm gonna take you through a little bit of the process of like creating a brush. So I've been wanting to make a traditional brush pack for a while, like a traditional in the sort of meaning that like the kind of stuff that I make is like fractal, like I have a brush pack called the Impossible brush pack, and I've been wanting to make like a traditional brush pack with like watercolor and oil painting, stuff like that, but what could I add to that? There are so many of those that exist already, so what could I add to that? So I don't want to do it just to do it. I want to do it in a way that's, you know, a little bit unique, or it adds some value at least to what's already out there. And so I bought this microscope here in order to capture patterns, microscopic patterns, in like the brush stroke of watercolors or pencil drawings or something like that. So you could capture like the texture and use that as the brush template. So for example, just want to sort of give you an example of this. So this is like a memory module. I forgot the English word for it. I think it's memory card, right? memory stick, might be. Anyway, and so I'm gonna try to capture a nice pattern here. We look for something. Oh, there we go. That's kind of cool. So we take something like this, and if we just take a picture of it, that should go into here, and there we go. Okay, so the picture suddenly disappeared. I think we can import it and use that as a texture. Wi-Fi, yeah, there we go. So there's the picture. Okay, so the app is terribly unstable, so I'm gonna just screenshot this, and let's just open this up, and let's do a copy, and let's go over to here, music. Where'd the music go? Sorry. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paste this texture, and although it's not 100% as detailed as I would like it to be, because we didn't actually capture the image, we just took a screenshot of the image. But I'm gonna do something like this. So I'm gonna create a new brush from this. Now we could start from scratch and create a new brush by tapping here. There's a lot of parameters that we need to tweak in order to make something that looks good. And since I've already made a whole bunch of brushes before, I have templates for a lot of different styles. And so if I want to make something where it's sort of splatzy like this and like this, we can do that. We can also create something that is more streamlined and where the pattern closely overlaps. But since we have this sort of this memory module, this computer texture, I'm thinking about doing something in this direction and starting from there. So I'm going to do, let's see. Let's go with the HD fractal brush pack. I'm going to copy one of the brushes, like let's do magnetic. I'm going to duplicate that, and let's just work on that one. So this is the fractal brush pack, and this is the magnetic brush, and it does this sort of thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace this sort of textury stuff with this computer module. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this one. I'm going to go into the grain, and you see, that doesn't look like, it doesn't look like this, right? That's because the actual grain is in this brush. So this brush pack is made from two separate brushes that interact in a normal way, in the combine mode normal. Okay, maybe not going into that much detail, but what basically happens is we have a second brush which contains the actual shape here, and we're going to replace this shape with what we actually have right here. So I'm gonna copy the canvas by clicking share. No, sorry, add. Strange that you do add to copy, but all right. Let's go here, and then grain. We're gonna do edit the grain, and click on import paste. All right. See ya, Sakti. Bye bye. Thanks for joining. All right, so we have this like so. We do auto repeat, in order to avoid the sort of texture glitching out in the edges. It looks very glitchy, but all right. So there we go. Now we have the texture coming through. So let's scale it down a little bit, because it's not as high resolution as the fractal brush pack, and we see it saturates completely immediately. So we might need to just mess with the brightness a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we have a memory module brush made from scratch, which we can now use to create some cool stuff. So now, if we, for example, go into the canvas right here, do a drawing guide. I love these drawing guides. Let's go actually to a screen-sized one. Just gonna snap the background color to black. We're gonna do drawing guide, symmetry. I'm gonna do horizontal symmetry with rotational enabled. Let's get rid of this, and then we can start laying down some texture. And just like we've seen with the other artworks that we've been trying to, well, not trying to, that we've been reviewing in this stream here, in order to create something that looks right, it's not enough to try once. You might have to try 1,000 different times or 100 different times maybe, in order to get something that looks right to you and something you can use. Now here we go. Here's something. I'm going to switch over to the brush pack of the month from the Creative Access membership plan that we have on the Art and Design website. So if you go to artanddesign.tv and you sign up for the Creative Access, then you can get access to the monthly brush pack. So I release a monthly brush pack, and this one is these brushes are included in this month's brush pack. I think it's like $8 a month, and you get access to a brush pack from me every month, and where I'm exploring different things. And this brush pack, I'm exploring I can just show you. I've been wanting to make brushes like this for a while, so it's combining sort of very detailed ethereal textures together in a sort of dynamic dual textured kind of way. So you can like, if you press lightly you get one, and if you press a little bit harder down you get another. So you see, like, I don't know if you see what's happening here, but if I press lightly, there's one color and there's one texture. If I press a little bit harder down, it's a different color and a different texture. So you can swap between these just by pressing a little bit harder down or softer down on the canvas. So just like, is this necessary? Like, yeah, I mean, I think art is all about exploration, and once something happens on your canvas that's a little bit unexpected, I think that's just a joyful thing, because that means you can take it further. You can say, oh, wow, hey, cool, that's amazing. Then you can take it a step further and put your own spin on it. And so that's what these brushes allow you to do, is to experiment with different textures, different styles, and sort of maybe break away from you might be sort of stuck with. So I get stuck in ruts all the time, and I start painting the same things, yeah, just all the time. And so I think this is a sort of fresh breath of fresh air to have new brushes that you can sort of implement into your routine. So let me just show you a little bit of what these textures are like. So atomic, is made from this sort of atomic structure, this is like a billowing. You can see the atomic spikes there. It's combined with this this billowing texture, which creates the mask for the atomic structure. I'm listening to myself speak, and it just sounds like absolute jargon, but it looks like this basically, and it's using this to mask out this with this combined mode, giving us this sort of dynamic texture, which doesn't look. It resembles both of the textures, while not being necessarily either one of them at any time. That sounded very. I don't even know the word for it. Anyhow, so splat is also a kind of interesting one. I forgot what this one looks like, but splat. Yes, that's a fitting word for it. It's very splatty. Oh, like that. I can see in the immediate future that there's some red that needs to happen here. Right here. And maybe some purple right here. Don't get distracted, Torgeir. Okay, so so that's splat. It's this sort of splattering texture. Yeah, it sort of like a paintbrush texture combined with this sort of splattering thing, and that combined gives this sort of texture. And obviously you can use it with a blending mode or not. You can have it, blending mode with the drawing assist or not. So if you don't use the drawing assist, you can do something like this, and then you can shape it to whatever will that you want. So it might be like a part of a background or something that is happening on a screen for some character, or I've seen a lot of different use cases for these sort of abstract brushes. You don't necessarily need to create abstract, but sometimes it's fun to have the characters like be wearing something that it looks unique and looks different and looks vibrant. It's a simple way to put a lot of texture down with a lot of complexity. So I like making brushes like that, which kind of surprised me. So here we have Nebula 1C. As you can see, it's billowy. Yeah, I think this one's mostly sort of billowy with some color glitching as well to make it just absolutely pop out. So that's Nebula. Then we have Bloom Light, which does this sort of thing. So it's like a bloom brush with some texture to it. So you can play around with it. You can go really small. Oh, that's a happy accident. That kind of looks cool. All right. Then we can add BEGG, Becky, over here to another layer maybe, and add the drawing assist on it. So this one is, yeah, it's a dual textured one, and is comprised out of this sort of texture as well as this sort of splattering texture from earlier, and two others, so this one and this one. So it's very it's a very, I would say, like a very busy brush. So if you paint softly, you get this sort of stuff. If you press hard down, you can paint over it, so you can get rid of some of the vibrancy over here while not just exploding it with color. So combining something like this with something like that, you could create like the high and low vibrancy areas. And then let's see what this one does here. BGGO. Oh yeah, nice. Forgot about this one. So, ooh. So if you're just tuning in, so this is this month's brush pack of the month from the artanddesign.tv store, and we're just exploring the kind of textures and the kind of shapes that you can get with these brushes. So every month there's a new brush pack that gets released, and this is month 2. So we just started this, and I'm loving it because it forces me to create more brushes. And yeah, so finally let's just go to the last one here. This is the linear gradient one. It's comprised out of this texture right here. Yeah. All right, so I think this is my cue to leave. So my son just woke up, and yeah, it's, what is it now? Oh, 8 a.m. All right, so this was a joy. I really hope you enjoyed this time, this chill time. Let me know if you want to see more of these live streams. I plan to make this a more of a regular occurrence. What would you like to see in a future live stream? Sorry, I just bumped the mic there. What would you like to see in like a future live stream? Would love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, I thank you very much for watching, for tuning in, for staying, and yeah, hope you have a wonderful day or night if you're going to sleep. But I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.